More than 10 years after the occasions of the principal film, the film starts with Jake Tarnish portraying his unobtrusive and serene life as head of the Omaticaya Tribe and raising a family with his significant other Neytiri, which incorporates his children Neteyam and Lo'ak and his little girl Tuk, his embraced girl Kiri, brought into the world from Effortlessness Augustine's senseless Gnostic symbol, and a human kid named Bug, the child of Miles Quaritch, who was brought into the world on Pandora. However, couldn't be moved to Earth in cryostasis. While Jake can acknowledge Bug as a took-on child, Neytiri is doubtful of him given his human starting points. Notwithstanding, every one of the youngsters blend and mingle well with one another, including Insect, whom Kiri is warm with despite the fact that he is a human. Insect doesn't embrace his human legacy and feels more lean to Gnostic's culture and customs. They carry on with an ordinary existence until one day they notice a peculiar star in the night sky. Unfortunately, they understand it's a RDA space transport with people getting back to Pandora to colonize it, raising another super working base once more. Among the fresh debuts in the boat is Colonel Quaritch, who has been cloned into a Gnostic's body and with his recollections transferred from before his passing. Subsequently, Quaritch can't recall his downfall because of Jake yet is simply ready to remember the occasions before and his vindictive mission to dispense with Jake. To keep the RDA from taking advantage of Pandora once more, Jake drives an essential guerrilla activity against the RDA supply lines, debilitating them. In one of the tasks, Lo'ak, who resists Neteyam and anxious to show what him can do, attempts to help Jake in fight yet gets injured. Jake protects and teaches him to not imperil his own well-being by being crazy. That evening, while at the same time keeping an eye on his injuries, Neytiri tranquilly reminds Jake to be not excessively unforgiving with Lo'ak, to which Jake communicates his anxiety as a dad for the security of his youngsters. In the meantime, the reprisal follow-up on the RDA supply lines doesn't agree with Quaritch, who starts a pursuit mission to kill Jake. During a lively endeavor, Jake's youngsters alongside Insect investigate further into the rainforest. Unbeknownst to them, Quaritch and his group are at a similar area investigating the site where Quaritch will see his human remaining parts. An attentive Lo'ak sees their presence and rapidly illuminates his dad Jake, who is made aware of the circumstance. Notwithstanding, an encounter happens and Quaritch's crew catches Jake's kids. Jake and Neytiri show up in time and free the vast majority of them, yet Bug is taken by Quaritch, who remembers him as his child. On board the boat, the RDA attempts to coercively separate data about Jake from Insect, who will not give. Evolving system, Quaritch tends to Bug as his child and furthermore to make sense of more about the Navi in return for his opportunity on his side. Despite the fact that unhelpful and uninformed about Quaritch's real mission, Insect shows Quaritch Gnostic's culture. Quaritch is additionally effectively ready to tame an Ikran flying animal as his vehicle. Realizing the risk, Insect's information on his whereabouts postures to their security and furthermore to keep away from another disaster, Jake persuades a hesitant Neytiri and his family to oust themselves from the Omaticaya faction and retreat toward the eastern seaboard of Neytiri, a coral reef island whose group and way of life is adjusted to Pandora's seagoing territory. Jake gives his central mantle to his replacement and passes on altogether to Neytiri. Once showed up, they are welcomed by the family boss Tanawari and his better half Ronald, who was dicey of them at first. Notwithstanding, Jake makes sense of their circumstance and they are consented to remain and given cover.
Where are they?
Despite the fact that a few tribesmen scorn Jake and his youngsters for their hereditary human legacy, the family learns the methods of the reef individuals, gaining the appreciation of them. Kiri is intrigued with the oceanic existence of Neytiri and fosters an otherworldly bond with the ocean and its animals, while Lo'ak gets to know Neytiri, the girl of faction boss Tanawari and his better half Ronald. While adjusting to their new climate, Lo'ak gets into a battle with Neytiri's sibling Aonon when he pokes a rough fun at Kiri and him of their blended human genealogy. Jake advises his child for his way of behaving. At Jake's demand, Lo'ak gets back to apologize to Aonon and his companions. In any case, they captivate him to an excursion into the domain of a hazardous ocean hunter and leave him abandoned as a retribution. The ocean hunter attempts to go after Lo'ak. Be that as it may, Lo'ak is saved by and gets to know Payokan, a Tulkan, a savvy and pacifistic cetacean species whom the Neytiri think about their otherworldly family. Upon his revisitation of Metkayina, Boss Tanawari, who became mindful of Ayanun's activities on Lo'ak, requests that the previous apologize to Lo'ak. Nonetheless, Lo'ak assumes the fault on himself, winning Ayanun's fellowship. He is additionally informed that Payokan is an untouchable among his species. In the meantime, out traveling to a branch off of the Tree of Spirits, Kiri joins with it to meet her mom, yet experiences a savage seizure. She is mended by Ronald, yet when Jake calls Norm Spellman and Max Patel for help, Quaritch can follow them to the archipelago where the reef individuals reside. Carrying insect with him, he lays hold of a whaling vessel which is hunting tulkuns to collect their mind proteins for making hostile to maturing cures. Quaritch starts to ruthlessly scrutinize the native clans about Jake's area, bombing that, he arranges the whaling team to wantonly kill the tulkuns to draw Jake out. Lo'ak intellectually interfaces with Payokan and discovers that the Tulkun was projected out on the grounds that he conflicted with the methods of his species and went after the whalers who killed his mom. At the point when the Metkayina learn of the Tulkun butchers, Lo'ak takes off to caution Payokan, trailed by his kin, Syria and Ayano. They find Payokan being pursued by the whalers, and Lo'ak, Kiri and Tuck are caught by Quaritch. With their youngsters at serious risk, Jake, Neytiri and the Metkayina set off on a mission to stand up to the people. Quaritch powers Jake to give up, however seeing his spirit sibling endangered, Payokan assaults the whalers, setting off a battle which kills the majority of the team and fundamentally harms the vessel, making it sink. Neteyam salvages Lo'ak and Bug, yet is lethally shot. Jake faces Quaritch, who involves Kiri as a prisoner. At the point when Neytiri does likewise with Insect, Quaritch at first denies his child, yet halts when Neytiri cuts Bug on the chest. Jake, Quaritch, Neytiri and Tuck end up caught inside the sinking vessel. Jake chokes Quaritch into obviousness and is protected by Lo'ak and Payokan, and Kiri gathers ocean animals to help her save Neytiri and Tuck. Bug finds and protects Quaritch, yet passes on him because of his brutality towards the Nasics and putting his objective to kill Jake's family over being his dad and turning into a decent man, driving him back to rejoin Jake's loved ones. After Neteyam's memorial service, Jake and his family choose to forever remain with the Metkayina.
Dad, just breathe. Know that it's Lord.
You know you will.
I think so, but Dad, it's gonna be a long breath hold.
Mama, I'm scared.
Breathe from here. Hey, breathe from here. The way of water has no beginning and no end. The sea gives and the sea takes.
Everything's going to be all right, little sister.
Dad, you can do this.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Last breath. Thank you.
My Jake! Dad!
Mom!
Dad!
Sullies stick together.